Hi, if you like this content, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps this channel and spread the message to help others. Thank you so much. Hi, Brian Ritsuno here. Today I want to talk about this concept of perfection because this is crucial how we deal with the perfection in terms of how we achieve our success. If we get caught up in this perfection, means it's like you feel like uh, whatever you do is almost sublime, right? It's beautiful, no flaw. It is an ideal that you wanted to have, okay? But when it comes to do things and the meaningful progress, you got to deal. We always have to deal with something imperfection. No matter how much you think this is great, you just don't know, right? You might think this is perfect, but other people might not. And then regardless, if you want to go somewhere, you have to push that product or service or whatever the idea forward, and then see how other people react. Because the success really comes from an interaction with others. Okay, it doesn't really come from by yourself. Now we're not in isolation uh, species. We will always interact with others. So perfection is really good if you know the limitation of it when it comes to practicality, because it'll push you always towards the growth and then forward. So you are never going to satisfy, right? So you push like a version one, and then you thought it's perfect, but then if you have perfection mind, then you can have a version two, because you find something wrong, and then so on and so forth. If you don't have that kind of mindset, then you're just satisfied with version one, and generally that's how company disappears, or business just doesn't go quite uh, do great, because like a competition just come up and the better product or better service. So as an ideal, it is very essential to have the concept of perfection. But in reality, we really have to be careful how we apply this type of concept, and especially people who use that perfection too much. It generally reflects of their insecurity. It means it's like, I'm gonna wait till doing something, right? Uh, for instance, like, oh, I'm gonna show this to somebody until it's really perfect. Then what it does is really that you're afraid of, let's say, judgment, criticism, or even a disappointment, and that type of like your feeling. That is actually very harmful to advance uh, in your life, because most of the things you really have to experiment. You have to test to really see this resonate with other people, because that's the really the essence of it. Okay. Um, of course, like you can say like, oh, sometimes people don't get it or something, but then you probably have to possibly market it differently or doing something, but at least right? At least that you actually put that thing out there, and then you can actually devise a way to actually have people uh, receptive to what you've done. Uh, in my case, like, I was more of a doer. I was more the other side of extreme. I didn't quite prepare anything. I just keep doing it, and because I didn't prepare, and I didn't really care too much about the perfection. I was more doing it for the excitement of it or some novelty of it. I could do a few things, being clever or whatever, and then but then after a while, I didn't have a skill, I didn't have a knowledge, so I get stuck in, right. Like let's say success requires like peeling like a layer of onions, like you kind of keep peeling it, and the deeper you can peel it, you get more and more successful. But for me, I could just peel like a couple of layers, and then that's it. And I quit because I get frustrated. I don't know what to do. Since I don't know how really to prepare, I really didn't know how to actually cope with. I don't know. I didn't really know what to do. So it is important to have this perfection mindset a little bit, making sure that you prepare well. I mean, they're just saying like not preparing is prepare to fail, basically, right? So you make sure that you prepare, but how much preparation is really needed? Uh, Generally speaking, the preparation is really necessary in any case as much as you can. But anytime you can start, you should start today. Let's say, okay, what does that mean? Like, oh, you just said that if you don't do enough preparation, you're gonna fail, right? That is true if you want to accomplish something really, really big project right away. But that's not really realistic, right? It takes a very long time. Like the more ambition, like the bigger the ambition you have, it requires years, sometimes a decade of really continuous preparation. Basically, like, but then each step is small. So what I want you to understand this concept is you prepare somewhat and then do something small, right? Accomplish something, and it's not, for instance, if you have a 24 one that day, you do something, you act something, and that doesn't mean that you can actually parallelly prepare, right? So you gotta actually go parallel instead of, okay, I'm gonna do this and only that, and then just keep going, right? It just doesn't work. You do things, and then you learn. You make sure you create the time, at least like 30 minutes, couple of hours to prepare for the whatever the task you put on that day. So you can always go parallel, right? As long as you have a what to do, and then figure out the best way how to do it. So the mindset is important. So starting small, right? That's what I was really talking about. And once you do this, you will start noticing that perfection itself is almost like illusion, because you already always know that as you uh, as you progress, you fail all the time. But then each time you fail, as long as you prepare, you know what causing the problem, and then you can redo it. You can adjust. Okay, this one, the way we do it inadequate, and then you read some book, and then they offer something else like the ideas. Some mentor said, okay, do it in the better way, and then you can start be more efficient, doing things better, and so on. So you start noticing perfection is almost in this regard. Failure is part of almost like a within the perfection. Without these continuous iteration of failure and then learning, you will never gonna advance. So it's very important that you keep that thing in this reality of progress in mind. Okay, do it, prepare it, fail. So you'll hit some place, figure it out, prepare, do it again, and then repeating. The faster you do, clever you do, you'll go so far. But then you have to just keep going. Don't over just read books like for like many years and then not doing anything else, right? You got to do something. Okay. And then what I'm saying, like some of the time, like when there is no opportunity, you got to wait. I mean, this is a critical part when it comes to like investing stuff. You know, it's not necessarily that you invest all the time is good. Sometimes there is no opportunity. You just wait and then save money or do something else. But then you always have something else to do. That's the key. Some small thing you can do, like for instance, even exercise or like learning about the nutrition, that can keep your body in shape, or some of the things that actually in an indirect way help you to achieve your goal and become successful. Some subject you might, a different type of a field from the knowledge, you never know how you can connect, right? So even though you're playing guitar or something, maybe the mathematics might help. I mean, you never know, right? Or if you're a painter, or maybe business might, when you study some kind of business, you might hit, oh wow, how am I going to market my stuff? Like everything's connected. So just keep kind of doing something that you can do, not just the kind of the contemporating, just reading. You just have to do the experiment, like act. And what's critical here is really understand that in this life, we want it to be secure, right? We don't want to really, we never want to. I mean, Warren Buffett says something interesting, right? I mean, he said, or these guys is like, you never risk what you need for what you want, right? So you want to have a certain sense of security. But the problem of really life is that nothing is certain. So our really strategy is to increase the odds of the certainty. That's only we can do. And also, we're going to reduce the chance of a catastrophe happening, right? Which can cripple or waste our time for decades, or even extreme case like death or any other things. How are we going to do it, right? It is to do only is to think clearly, like gather evidences as much as possible, and use the rational reasoning to navigate the life. And of course, there's a certain times an accident happens, unexpected thing happen, like unfortunate thing happen. But we can't really live in fear of such things happening. There is actually a saying that I think it's a Carl Jung, the psychologist. He was saying living in uncertainty is like a death. You are already living death, right? If you are really persistent of being a perfection, then living want to be in a perfection, you're in a state of looking for the certainty, which is tantamount to actually being dead. What that really mean by that is you're not living the life that you actually can live the life. We will eventually die, but then by being perfection, like to cling to that notion of a certainty, you kill yourself already. So don't do it. The failure, mistakes, acting like a fool, all sorts of things. As long as you're doing your best, and then you're doing it honestly, ethically, tell the truth, then nothing else should really affect you that much. I mean, means it's like your progress towards your life. People can say anything, but we all of every single one of us experiences the same thing. So don't let this fear of living. This is just the fact of life. Be strong, right? What I mean by this, like, okay, how am I gonna do it? Just expose yourself to the vicissitude a little bit of life. If you're scared a little bit something, you don't have to go all the way in from the start. Just do a little by little, right? Until something like a really small thing you can actually accomplish, just do it. If it makes mistake, just make it a little smaller. You can move, then do something with that movement to put yourself towards a success. Okay. Even like if you're having a hard time like getting up, like doing something, maybe just when you get up, make bed, right? That's one accomplishment. Just do it. Like a really small thing, okay. Or if you wanna like improve your like lifestyle, instead of eating 3 potato chips, like okay, probably more than that, right? But but to reduce it to like probably a few a day. Think so in nature, just do small at a time. But you really have to be strong in that way. Try to improve. That's the only way you can actually strengthen your mind, by challenging yourself, just like a workout, right? Like putting some weight, stress on your muscle. Don't do too strenuously. You can, but then do it from the smaller weight and then build it up. That's the same thing with your mentality. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, perfection. Why perfection really stop people to do anything achieve is to the things like the certainty that never really exists in reality. But as long as you're doing the most probable, and then if you do all the homework, the decision should be easy. Take the easy decision, not the hard decision that, this and this is like really too close and I'm going to pick this. And, that means like probably you're not quite understand the material or the direction. I mean, it should be really clear. Okay, if you know what you're doing, it should be clear and an easy decision. But then to make it that easy, you really have to think about it, and you have to have been patient. The good opportunity is not gonna come that often, possibly once a year, but then when it arrives because you've been doing small things day by day, and then you're self-aware. You're always looking for opportunities and things of that nature. So yeah, so when you're working or building or creating something, right? Really use that perfection. If you are perfectionist minded, use that as a motivation to do excellent work. But just push it and just keep doing that iteratively. Okay. And also, it's helpful to have always. It's not even helpful, but then it's really necessary to have a deadline, like self-set deadline. Try not to break it. I mean, the temptation to just break it is easy. The more you be perfectionist, okay, like, oh, I'm gonna just redo it again, like making sure it's better and over again. Don't do it. It's never gonna appear, and it's just it exhausts your mind. If you do it that way, push it out. Push it out. Who cares, really? What else you can really do more than this? So yeah, it is a marathon. It takes years, decades to achieve uh, something full like spectacular, like in your mind. Okay, forget about anybody else. Something like, wow, I've achieved something. It takes that long. So to not get discouraged or anything, have that realistic mindset. It means it's like this type of things, ideas like perfection, just as an ideal, right? To utilize. Okay, no idea is bad or anything as long as you can utilize in the best way possible. Hi, thank you for watching. Please write down your idea in the comment section below to help each other. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and hit bell button to be notified a new video. See you next time.